Hello everybody, Logan Phillips here. As typically I start these videos off with telling you I'm Logan Phillips. I'm your state representative, District 24, which is Mounds, Bixby, Glenpool, and Northern Okmulgee County, blah, blah, blah. This video I'm going to start a little different. I'm going to start it as I typically start with my students. I'm Logan Phillips with Professor P, and today we're going to do a lesson. Now, I want to talk to you today in our lesson about the governor's newest executive order, specifically his executive order allowing public employees to work inside our classrooms and be substitute teachers. Now, I'm going to provide in this link, inside this video above where I make the comments, a link directly to the governor's executive order about this. I always want you to go and take your sources from their original location. We don't need to have secondary and third-party sources. You're smart and capable enough to read the original. Go read the original, make a decision based on the good information directly from the horse's mouth. Now, I'm a career teacher. I have taught in every level of education. I have been an elementary teacher. I've been involved in the criminal justice system, teaching at the Tulsa Boys Home. I've been a high school teacher, a vocational teacher at the Meridian Technology Center, and I'm currently a college professor that is still an active educator in the state of Oklahoma. Now, I substituted HOT for years. It is how I earned my money when I was getting my bachelor's in education. It's how I earned my money when I was working through my master's degree, when I first came back from Taiwan teaching overseas, where I was a math teacher. It was a career path for me being in classrooms. I subbed for years in every single type of environment. Now, I went from special education classrooms, I taught in alternative schools, I taught in our rural communities, I taught and subbed in Tulsa Public. I have been in classes as a sub from as little as 3 students with things suffering from Down syndrome and other alternatively abled issues, all the way to like 30, 35 students in traditional classrooms that were rambunctious, to say the least. But I want to talk to you because I'm seeing a lot of comments online about the negativity surrounding this order, that we are degrading the educators and we're cutting them down. And I'm from a family of educators. My sister's a teacher, my father's a teacher, my stepmother's a teacher, my brother's a teacher, I'm a teacher, my grandfather is involved in public service. We are from a place and family that does public involvement. We like being public servants. And the reality, before this our governor's executive order went into place, is to be a substitute teacher in the state of Oklahoma, almost any of our districts, required you to have either a high school diploma or a GED. Pay $50 for a background check and be a warm body that was willing to go and sit and babysit in our classrooms. Now, there are some great substitute teachers. So there are teachers that have walked into those classrooms as subs and have been educational, transformative, fantastic. We have long-term subs that have made this an actual career. We have retired teachers that have come back and are wonderful assets. But we don't have very many of those left. We have almost no subs in any of our districts in anywhere in the state, because not only are we finding ourselves in the largest teacher shortage in the history of teacher shortages, and we are also seeing that in involvement from the community. We're not getting parents to sub. We are not getting retirees to sub. We are not getting alternative career people to sub. We're not getting anyone that wants to make subbing a career path for that flexibility and freedom. We have a complete and utter lack of substitute teachers. Now, for years, I heard, and I screamed, that we want, as a teacher, we screamed and screamed and screamed that as teachers, we want those who represent us to understand what it is like for a teacher. We screamed for them to come spend an hour a day in our classrooms to see what we're going through, what we're experiencing, the shortcomings and the assets that are our students. We screamed to a completely deaf crowd. We screamed, we yelled, we hollered that we were struggling, and no one listened. We screamed so loud that in 2008, we screamed ourselves into a frenzy, and we actually walked out of the classrooms and caused the biggest change in Oklahoma's education system in the history of Oklahoma. That was teachers' voices that did it, that we screamed at those elected by us. We got the most elected teachers in the history of Oklahoma. We changed the career path of Oklahoma politicians from lawyers to teachers because of that walkout, because teachers were engaged and said that we needed our voice, our experience up at the Capitol. And so we screamed. We wanted people to come and experience our classrooms. And the reality is, even though we got our representation to be mostly teachers, we have engaged the Capitol, we are in every level of government, we still don't have people going into the classroom experiencing exactly what it is that a teacher has gone through. Now, this is, I'm dumbfounded by it, and it angers me at the negativity that I am seeing coming from online communities, news articles, because this is the greatest opportunity I have ever seen for us as educators. This is an opportunity for our public education system. This is an opportunity for our students, for our fellow colleague teachers, for our administration. We have our mayors, our representatives, our senators, our local elected officials, our firefighters, our police chiefs, from the very top to the very bottom of every public servant right now is biting at the bit to be in your classroom, to come to your classroom, not only to take a photo op, to walk in, take a photo with the superintendent, walk out. They are there to experience your world. They are there to live your career path. They are there to know and understand and to help. Now, this is, like I said, the greatest opportunity for us. This is also happening during the largest teacher shortage in our nation's history, and it's not an Oklahoma issue. Every single educational prep program in the nation is finding shortages, low enrollments, and non-existent graduation rates. So we have no teachers coming out of our preparation program. We have the greatest number of teachers retiring right now. Our educational classrooms are at a boiling point after 4 years of fires, floods, and pandemics, going into the third year of the pandemic, and everyone's stressed to the T. You now have everybody biting at the bit to be inside your classroom. So teachers, this is your opportunity. If you are a pro-education person, if you are a pro-public education, and especially if you are an educator, it is time for you to educate. It is time for you to teach those that are your public servants that are coming into your classrooms. Show them the life that you have been living for the last decade plus. You have to be bold in this opportunity. You have to be daring in your comments to them, and let them see the reality of the education system, not the polished view. You have to see the reality, see the value of our students, see the value of our teachers, the hardships of our classroom, and the absolute need to protect our public education systems. You want to change hearts and minds? This is the greatest opportunity that you have ever been given in the history of public education in Oklahoma. You're going to see every congressman, every senator, every elected official, your mayors, your vice mayors, your city councilors, your fire chiefs, all walking into your classroom, and not for a photo op, to take over your classroom for an hour, 5 hours, a whole day, to serve food in the cafeteria. It's a servant opportunity instead of a photo op. So be challenging to them. And I will say this, as a sitting state representative, I am going to challenge my fellow legislators. You are entering into my career. You are entering into my world with my colleagues, with my students. So do not walk into my classroom, spend 10 minutes, take your photo, and walk out. If you're going to take this opportunity during an election cycle and you see this an opportunity to get some hearts and minds and some votes, shake some hands and kiss some babies and walk around, then you have failed as your representative position. If you want to do this and you want to take the governor's executive order at its face value, that we are trying to fill the need of the lack of substitute teachers and the teacher shortage, take this as an opportunity to be educated by those that know the exact realm that you're asking questions about. While we go into the 3,000 plus different bills that are coming out, with tremendous amount of them being against public education, take this opportunity to walk in that classroom and see what your actual students are going through. Don't take the photos, go in the classroom and serve with a servant's heart. Ask that superintendent, ask that teacher, ask whoever's hand holding you, because you are untrained. You are unexperienced for the most of you that are going to be going into those classrooms, and that is perfectly okay. But if you want to live the experience of being a substitute teacher and you want to actually help, then you should be able to do it because our 18 years old with a high school diploma and a GED and $50 can do it. Then you can walk in that classroom and actually serve as a substitute. And when you get in that classroom, I'm going to give you some hints. One, bring with you a bag of candy bars, but nothing with peanuts in it because there's a peanut allergy that's pretty big and substantial. Bring something candy that you can hand out and then ask questions of those students. A whole hour long that you're in there, ask them. What has their experience been for the last year? How's their experience been in the pandemic? Ask them about the books in their libraries. Ask them about their curriculum and pedagogy that they've been learning, how they've been learning, what they think of their teachers, their environments, what they think about sports. Ask them about their life because the reality is our 38, 45, 55, 65-year-old selves lived in a very different world than our students are living right now because for the last 4 years they have lived through pandemics, fires, floods, shutdowns, all kinds of nasty stuff, and their environment is vastly different. So take this as the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to be a complete and utter public servant. Go into the classroom, substitute, engage with those students, and when you're done with engaging with those students, go into that teacher's lounge and engage with those fellow colleagues that you are now a part of. You've congratulatory, you have made it to be a substitute teacher. Go and talk to the actual teachers, not just the administration, and go and find that one old angry teacher that has been there too long and has a lot of words and will not have a filter and will tell you the reality of the situation. So I'm going to challenge you as legislators, those the public service that want to do this, do it for real, not just for a photo op. All right. If you have questions, comments, or concerns about my video, I understand. I can be blunt, I can be forward a lot of times, but this is an opportunity. For those educators and those pro-public education people, this is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get people that have never been in the classroom actively, publicly serving. Now for me, I'm still a teacher. I'm still actively teaching students outside in my regular career path when I'm not being a legislator. I'm probably not going to substitute. I have done it thousands of times in thousands of different locations, but what I will do is make sure that I am in every single school system in our district. I am touring, I'm understanding, and I'm hearing your voice. And more importantly, you can always call me. My personal cell phone number is 918-849-1512. I'm your representative. I want to hear your voice. So I've said it over and over again, I can't do this job without your voice, your concerns, your comments, and your thoughts. So reach out to me. Email's logan.phillips@okhouse.gov, and my phone number is 918-849-1512. Guys, I am excited about this opportunity, but I'm also very heated. Legislators, representatives, public servants, understand, don't take this lightly. Teachers, understand, you are being handed a golden platter opportunity. If you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I am here for you. And of course, I want to hear from you. Guys, have a very fruitful day. I am Logan Phillips, mostly known as Professor P when I'm not a legislator, or your state representative for Mounds, Glenpool, Bixby, and Northern Ocmulgee County. Bye, guys.